on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in to, what are we officially calling this, Mr. Tank Perry?
This is the All Things Football for Lincoln, Nebraska segment of the show, and we're super excited to be here again. We've got some amazing guests, so we're going to get into it.
Perfect. Welcome in, everyone. Tank, nice to officially make your acquaintance and meet you. All things Lincoln Youth Football, powered by Character Chronicles.
Yes.
Also, big thanks to Allo. They do a lot of great stuff for us here at 93.7 The Ticket. They sponsor our VIP line, as well as, if you're an Allo subscriber, Channel 961. That's right. We're live. Anything that we stream and you're an Allo subscriber, you can find on Channel 961. So huge thanks to Adam Carricker and Allo Fiber for all their help here at 93.7 The Ticket.
Yeah, and we also want to shout out to Starter Harmon. If you want to view the show and you want to text back, you want to text to 402-464-5685 or the Starter Harmon live video stream. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Allo Cable, again, channel 961. So we're going to get in the show because this segment goes so fast, and I'm super excited as we're moving forward and the new guests that we have here. Today, we're going to talk more in tune of what LYF has done in the way of products, right? In the way of men who have given their time and sons who have come through the program. Where are they now and how long have they been involved and what are they looking forward to? We've got my good friend here today with us today, Cale Henderson. He is the sponsor of Allo. Allo, again, is one of our sponsors for the Lincoln Youth Football League. And let's get you to introduce who we have here today with us.
Thanks for having us, guys. I have Sean Trout. He's the director of private partnerships at Allo Fiber. He's also the former sponsor rep. So he kind of understands the realm I'm in when we operate Allo football. And this is one of my former studs here, Ashton Trout. He was a running back, linebacker, all-around leader for us, competitive kid. I was really excited to have these two on the show with us because I thought they'd give a unique perspective on what Allo Fiber has done in the community and then what Allo Fiber has done for this league in general.
Right. And I think that you're right, because this connection is so important. And what we're trying to make sure that everyone understands as we do these shows is that Lincoln Youth Football has such great connections to the community through our sponsors, through our partnership, and the product speaks for itself. So I'm going to get right into it. Welcome, guys. How are we doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. Sean?
Doing great.
Good.
Thanks.
Wait, now, so you were a sponsor when it wasn't cool, right?
Yeah.
With Allo.
Absolutely.
Tell us about your experience in being a sponsor.
Tank, we were talking earlier before your entry into LYF and how it was an accident, right? I like to spin that. It's fate for me, right?
I like it.
It's positive because that's where I was. So I was, Ashton was playing on Leon's back in the day.
Yep.
That's the team that I played for back when I was, there was a lot of dirt in Nebraska back then, but he played for Leon's, and Jim Sandman, my good friend, we all know well,
we all know Jim,
was athletic director for Leon's. And that's when some sponsorship changes started happening. And Jim reached out to me. And at the time I was chief compliance officer for Nelnet.
Okay.
And he said, hey, would Nelnet want to sponsor the team? And I reached out to my friend, Ben Kaiser, who leads communications and marketing for Nelnet. He said, probably not a good fit for Nelnet, but it'd be a great fit for Allo, as they had just started a significant investor relationship with Allo. So we reached out to Brad Moline, president and founder of Allo. Brad said, we'd love to do that. So he kind of kicked things off. I then instantly became, by fate, the corporate sponsor for Allo and Lincoln Youth Football. Had a great run of that. And then I made the switch over to Allo about 2 years ago to lead the public and private partnerships area. And it made sense for Cale, my good friend, to really step in and take that over. And because he's got that knowledge of football a lot more than I do, I have the parent side. He's got the football side, and it's been a great fit ever since.
And that's a good point, and that's a great transition that we're going to talk about. And shout out to Brad Moline from Allo for really getting this thing kicked off in this transition that we're in to where we have Cale today and the torch passed. But you touched base on what it was like then as a parent versus that transition to football guys being with LYF. What do you see as some of the differences?
Well, for me as a parent, first of all, and again, we talked a little bit getting involved in something like this and the repetition that they can have in various programs. Ashton and I were talking on the way downtown this morning. Had he not had the opportunities with LYF, he'd have to go right from nothing into high school football, right?
Very good.
And it's so as a parent, you want your kids to have those opportunities. We're blessed with fantastic volunteer coaches in all of these programs that you have within LYF. So you have that. Then as the football thing, Kale's probably better, able to talk to it. Really, my football career ended at Leon's.
Right,
So
right, right.
that gives you an idea. Okay.
Well, good. So Ashton, we're going to jump over to you. So your experiences, right? And you're reaching a broad audience. And so here's where you were able to tell parents, right, other kids about your experiences and why this is important. Tell me when you started and when you kind of start having a thought process of this is really cool and I'm looking forward to every year. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I started in 6th grade around 2018. I played 2 years with Leon's. Then when they transferred to Allo, it just feels like a natural switch to me. Starting in 6th grade, it was my first time ever going out there. Like I played flag football my whole career, and then I switched into that, and I was nervous at first to play. Putting those pads on, it's a lot different than playing flag football, obviously. But when I go in there, it's pretty weird at first for me, and then I start working up, and I've been putting in all the work, and next year I in 7th grade actually swing up to B team, and for Leon's, I really enjoyed that playing with the upperclassmen. I really made good connections, and I'm still friends with those people nowadays, and I feel like that's like a big role in Lincoln Youth Football is you really make lifelong friends. I still communicate with those guys. It's like a brotherhood, really. And then when it transferred over to Allo, like I was really blessed to have most of the same coaches, but also guys like Cale Henderson and more coaches that got brought into really great coaches and still play a big role in my life. So when it comes to that switch and like building that brotherhood, really, I think it's really important for Lincoln Youth Football. And it's not just Allo, it's all organizations. Like I became friends and build relationships with coaches around other like police, UBT, Stonebrook, all those guys. Like there's some really great people out there.
Yeah, and you're really insightful because you touched base with a couple of questions that I was going to ask you. You just knocked them out of the park, right? Because it is transformational, right? It is transcendent. Like you live it and you get to look across the aisle at the people that you compete with and become friends, and this brotherhood begins to grow. Sure, we need to get better, but it's not like we're not good in what we're doing and the guys that you see. Do you work out with some of those guys that you came in with in 6th grade? You still having workouts with those guys at the high school level?
Yes, I did go to Southeast at first, and I made the switch to Southwest, which I really enjoy now. But I still see those guys a lot, and I still do play with some guys that I did play with for Allo and UBT. They feed in UBT and Manzito both feed in the Southwest, and I play with a lot of those guys, and they're really good guys. And back then, it was when I'm on the field, it's game on. I'm not thinking about like stuff like that, but when I'm on the field, it's just competition. But off the field, those are great guys that I really like to spend time with, and nowadays I do work out with and play on a team with. So
yeah, and you're really hitting on things because people are missing that piece. Like I competed for years in sports. My son competing years, my grandson's competing. And the thing about it is it's not just kill or be killed all the time. These are serious communities. We have communities every year of 12 to 1,400 kids by division that are learning to grow up and watching each other. If he can do it, I can do it. If he can do it, I can do it better. And it's not nice when we're out there smashing one another on the field, and you guys are learning that. And I think that's a really huge implication from the program that people are not understanding until you come out there and watch the level of competition that's here at LYF. Sure, you can say LYF is not competitive, but bring your team into LYF, hypothetically, and it's a different program as a whole, right? Coaching Ashton, knowing Sean, what's it been like?
So coaching Ashton, I'll say this from a very early point. We had summer workouts, and I saw Ashton moving around, and he was very coachable. You could just tell. His demeanor is, I want to be coached. His demeanor is, I need discipline. And I think he'd agree on that. Like when we first met, temperamental, which I related to because as a kid, I was very temperamental. I was
Still are.
Yeah. I'm an aggressive human being by nature.
No, I'm teasing.
It's what I grew up in. If
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
guys know anybody in my family, you'd understand why. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, man, you're fighting for your meals
Let's
sometimes. You don't leave the table until
Right.
everything's finished. Type thing. So I understood where he was coming from. When I was growing up, I was temperamental. I was also part of the league. It was firefighters then. Now it's Stonebrook.
Okay.
And I had a hard time balancing. Hey, am I going too hard? Is it okay to hit my teammates this hard, or do I need to take it off because I don't want to hurt somebody? You know, I saw those same things with Ashton because those are the things I struggled with. I'm pretty sure Ashton looked at me when I talked to him the first time. Was like, told his dad, like, this guy is a glorified a-hole. But I think the word we're searching for today
Right.
is community.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So as I've gotten older, and I'm not old, but as I've gotten older and I'm learning these things, what I've learned is it's community and communication. And I think one of the first things from a very early age, because my dad just retired from the National Guard, 42 years, he's a badass. We learn community and communication because it takes a village. So what we're hearing is it takes a village of people with a common goal to create progress, to succeed. And Ashton was very easy with that because I could look at him and be like, hey, man, I need you to do this. This is why. And as soon as you told him, he's like, okay,
On it.
this coach is telling me, hey, this is why it's going to be good to do. And he buys in and he goes after it. I had to tell him sometimes, hey, man, you ain't got to take it easy on these guys. Like they got pads on. They have protection. All right. If you take it easy on them, then the other teams aren't going to take it easy on him. You can't let him get used to it. So then all of a sudden he's lighting people up.
Good.
So,
Good.
Easy,
Okay.
easy to coach. Easy to coach.
So with that, keep that in mind because I want to talk about coaching and coachable. We're going to take a break here, just a short break. Austin, I'm going to turn it over to you, and let's go on break.
Right back on Lincoln Youth Football right after this.
It's the Elway Power Sports Customer Expo, May 10th and 11th. There will be giveaways and free food, half-price tires, and factory rebates as large as $2,500. Used inventory price to sell, parts and accessory specials too. Register for the John Elway Football Giveaway and get a chance in the money machine with a new vehicle purchase. Factory and aftermarket reps will be on site for the event. The Customer Expo at Elway Power Sports, May 10th and 11th, just south of I-80 on 27th Street.
Do you need your event or venue secured? Call Tank Security Team. Tank Security Team is Lincoln's #1 non-lethal security company. Tank Security Team offers first-class security with efficient and quicker response times. Hire Tank Security Team. No hassle, no headaches. Call Tank at 402-310-3589 and get secured today.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here, summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Hey everyone, Shaylee Bade here, local sprint car driver and mom. Join me, James, and Bree this Sunday at 7 p.m. at the finish line on 93.7 The Ticket or theticketfm.com. Please feel free to join us before the show at 6:30, where we will be hanging out, signing some autographs, and selling some merch. Can't wait to see you.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of liberty for those accused and the pursuit of justice for those injured. Liberty Law Group's relentless trial attorneys specialize in criminal defense and personal injury law. We believe in treating every client with respect, compassion, and understanding. We know that navigating the legal system is stressful and overwhelming, but Liberty Law Group will carry that burden for you. When you're facing legal issues, make the right call. 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right here, 1040 O Street. Off to a rip-roaring start to this weekend here. Come down, stop by the mill, say hi to everyone. It's been pretty busy this morning, so stop down, get yourself a cup of coffee. Mr. Tank Perry, show's all yours.
Hey, listen, welcome back. We're glad that you're here. We're here with Lincoln Youth Football, all things football. We've got my man Kel here. We've got guests Ashton and Sean Trout. We've been talking about what LYF, Lincoln Youth Football League, really means community. And these next few weeks, we'll have parents in here that have been part of this program for a while. One thing we want to talk about, Sean had a really good point before we left and went to break. We were talking about coachability. We're going to circle back around. But one thing I want to tell you about, folks, is the tenure. When you talk about the tenure in LYF of the men and the women and the kids that have been here for a while, you're talking about people that have been here, as Sean pointed out, Leon's, right, back in the day. And that was years ago that he played. His son started playing for you. So you're talking about a history of people wanting to get better in these programs with Lincoln Youth Football, the 8 sponsors that we have throughout the organization. One guy we want to talk about, and I'm going to push it back to you guys, is Jim Sandman, right? Jim is becoming a really good friend of mine. He's the president of Lincoln Youth Football. He also is involved with Allo as the athletic director, as am I with Neiman's and Sons as an athletic director. So we have these dual roles that we all do that we're doing as volunteers. Right. But still look at the glue and the tenure that's been here for a long time. Sean, why is there so much tenure and glue with Lincoln Youth Football, in your opinion?
You know, I think Tank, it's a couple of things. One, it's Lincoln, Nebraska. It's what I love about this town and the dedication and volunteerism that people have. You love what you do, right?
Yeah, I do.
Jim loves what he does. Kale does too, right? So we find the things that we're passionate about, and then we give. And as we were talking, it's amazing to me, the volunteerism and the commitment these coaches have, not just the ADs, but the coaches and all the folks involved with LYF is fantastic, and how much it gives back over decades to our community.
It does go back. It's deep.
Yep.
Deep. And I'm a historian by nature and by degree. And one thing that I've learned through these shows, there's a history of LYF that's consistent from decades ago, coming present, and it seems that it's getting better every year and stronger for the community that we have. How has that affected you, knowing that your dad played, now he coached, and now here you are starting, now you're in high school?
Yeah, I think it played a really big role in like why I wanted to play. You know, there's history in this. You know, there's many generations. It's not just my dad, but you know, I have friends who their parents played, their grandparents played. It just goes back way more back than just one generation.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we're going to traverse right to coaching that you were talking about and kids being coachable. What's your take on that level of quality and the complexity of the things that we're able to do throughout the divisions?
Yeah. So before I give any details on that, I think you have to have a certain demeanor about you that is giving. I think you have to have a certain demeanor about you as a coach where you're unconditionally, you have to want to help people improve. When you mentioned Jim, I give him a ton of credit, and I love the man as a human being because he's very passionate. He has no dog in the game. His kids no longer. I don't have kids.
Right.
He doesn't have kids in the league anymore, and he didn't before even his son that played for our team for a little while did. So the thing with Jim is, I believe guys like him, Lamanu, Selvage, the other sponsors, the other coaches, they're the backbone of this league because they care about the sport. They care about the kids more than they care about the sport. And that's what's allowed our community to thrive. It's why it's been around 4 decades. And it's only getting better because there's a more increased knowledge, there's more education about how to keep the kids safer, how to grow them more efficiently, how to see better progress. And guys like Jim, guys like Lamanu and Selvage and them, they've kind of spearheaded that idea of, hey, we're going to expand our knowledge and it's for the kids, not just to expand the league.
No, I think that you're right because if me being somewhat of an outsider as I'm transitioning in, when I began sitting in the room with you guys a year and a half ago, I was struck with the professionalism, the knowledge of football, the organization, and the thriving from men to get better communicating with each other. Not that it was perfect, but everybody was moving the right direction and people were putting their input in, which is impressive. And the same guys that you're talking about, amongst others, right? Mosier and those folks, that stuck out to me, like listening to the intellectual part of planning for football. Like a lot of people don't know, we plan for football all year round before the season happens.
Right, yeah.
We're not a league that has, let's do tryouts a month or two before the game. Not that that's bad, right? I've seen it all.
Right.
But we're planning from the month football ends through the rest of the year, getting things open, getting 7-on-7 going, tackle registration, making sure that the rules are coherent, that work, making sure that, hey, we didn't do this well last year. Here's something we can do better. We're keeping the minutes, old minutes of old business, and we're introducing new business. That is absolutely huge. You want your kids part of that, right? You want your kids part of guys who are putting it in, volunteer behind the scenes when all of the lights are off and no cameras are showing, right? I think that's some of what's happening. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, and the other thing is, like, I'd be remiss to say, like, I don't think it's said enough. The thing that LYF does that's very unique is it's its own organization. It plans games. It has one location for the games to be played at. You have 8 different sponsors, community members that are putting money in to support the cause of youth sports. And it's all funneled into that one location. So you're not traveling for games. It is a true community. We may have rivalries. We may get after each other from time to time. The kids play each other competitively from time to time. They get after each other. But ultimately, you have 8 teams, 8 organizations, one cause, youth sports, and being a part of the community. And that's something I don't think you find in a lot of places around the United States. That's why LYF is a gold standard when it comes to youth sports.
And gold standard is true. That doesn't take away from anybody that's doing anything out there with programs. I personally think those programs are great. I've got guys out there that are doing an amazing job. The Malone Center, they do a good job, out there as well. My man, Ben Gesford, he does an amazing job with what he's doing with the Spartans. So that's not the point. The point is that LYF has withstood time and is time honored, time tradition, and is the gold standard, right? Because you alluded to that earlier, we don't necessarily have kids in the league. A lot of us don't, but we're still here. And when we are done, we're not stopping. A lot of the programs, when their kids are done, that's it. And now the next group starts again if they're going to do an outside league, where LYF is consistent through and through, training kids to be coachable. We know that there's more challenging markets out there, but we're addressing those things. How do we get our kids bigger? The training platform is just exploding out there, right? There are all types of places to train, and I'm a huge advocate wherever you need to get your kid to train and get the information that he needs and to learn the game and to get bigger, better, faster, stronger, that's where you want to take them. But it should be a smorgasbord and then jump in, right, to the league. Because one of the things about football, which is unique, football is not a place where you can do nothing all year and then be effective at the season. Because guess what? We have a week or two for getting kids in shape. Then we turn around and we have installs, offense and defense. And then 6 weeks later, 4 weeks later, we're playing our first game, right? That is traditionally around the country. What I see happening in Lincoln that I'm so excited, and LYF also facilitates that, and people who are involved, is we have a lot of off-season training going on that make this deal worthwhile, where we're getting better quality players. And I feel like in the future, with what LYF is doing, folks like you have started, that we will be more competitive, you know what I mean, as a community that's out there. So it doesn't fall on deaf ears that we need to get better. It's how we get better, because so many kids are affected, right, by what we do. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. There's 150 at Allo Fiber football right now, like on average, 150 kids. So you multiply that by 8 teams roughly. That's a lot of kids we're impacting, over about 1,200 a year. Yep. That's huge.
It's huge. Okay, so I told you this deal goes fast. We're going to invite everybody back again, right? You're listening to All Things Football and 93.7 The Ticket. We're going to take this thing and kind of end this part of the segment. I want to thank you guys for taking time in your day to come and visit with us. Ashton, I look forward to you doing big things at the West. Sean, I can see where he gets it from. Thank you so much. Kale, you know you're my friend. I appreciate it.
Tank, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
nice to meet you. Who's coming up next?
So next is going to be Nebraska 7-on-7 football, where we are building the landscape of 7-on-7. We've got BK, Brandon Kinney, coming down from Alliance, helped him put a team together. He's knocking things out of the park on the 7-on-7. So we're going to get those guys in here next, talking to them. It's been great talking to you guys. We'll do this again.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks.
Perfect.
Thank you.
More Lincoln Youth Football, Nebraska 7-on-7 next.
RC's Boxing Production is proud to present the new prospects at the Complex. Come enjoy a show of Lincoln's best professional and amateur boxers on Saturday, May 25th at the Complex, the former location of Champions Fun Center. Doors open at 6 p.m. with first bout at 7 p.m. Learn more about the boxers and buy tickets at thecomplexlincoln.com. You won't want to miss this event. It's the new prospects at the Complex on Saturday, May 25th at 1555 Yolanda Avenue, right off of Cornhusker Highway.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
You guys talk about songs that you love. Is there a song that you absolutely loathe in this world?
Oh, there is, and I can't think of them right now.
I'm just picking Ozzy Osbourne song.
I despise with all my being Benny and the Jets by Elton John. I hate that song. Jersey Mike's or Chick-fil-A.
Chick is good. Jersey Mike's, I'm going to say it'd be 90.
Come on.
90.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
Soulful Casino in Havelock is a family-owned business providing incredible food and service that'll have you craving more with every bite. Soulful Casino offers everything from pulled pork to fried chicken, catfish, ribs, and even quesadillas. You want sides? They've got them. From fries, green beans and baked beans to collard greens, potato salad, and sweet dill corn. Stop by for lunch as they have specials Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. That's Soulful Casino, located in Havelock, where every bite you take fills the soul. It's the Elway Power Sports Customer Expo, May 10th and 11th. There will be giveaways and free food, half-price tires, and factory rebates as large as $2,500. Used inventory price to sell, parts and accessory specials too. Register for the John Elway football giveaway and get a chance in the money machine with a new vehicle purchase. Factory and aftermarket reps will be on site for the event. The Customer Expo at Elway Power Sports, May 10th and 11th, just south of I-80 on 27th Street. Ready to add a dash of Southern flavor to your week? At Wings and Rings, their brand new Southern fried wings have arrived for a limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings and Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All things youth football here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Swapped them out. New cast of characters. Don't say went to the bench, but second segment brought to you. Nebraska 7v7 Tank Security Team. Big thanks for sponsoring the show. Tank Perry, you're back up, my man.
What's going on? We're on the second part of the weekly segment here, and this segment is about Nebraska 7v7 football, right? All things football, but this is not about anybody in particular. We're going to have people come in from everywhere in Nebraska that have time. My main man, his son, Rob Perry, is going to introduce our guest for today, right?
Yeah, man, we got a good one today for you guys, man. You know, we're all about supporting all the Nebraska 7v7 teams, and today we got Alliance Talks here with Brandon Kinney and Brian Davis. Big show for us today, man. How you guys doing?
Man, we good, man.
Good.
Thanks for having us. Yes,
Thanks
for having us. Thanks for having us, man. We appreciate it.
Definitely.
Now, BK,
yes,
you
sir.
played for the Huskers.
Big time, big time.
09 through 12.
09
Your
through 12,
social media is always blowing up, right? You know, we met last year, brought you down here for tackle. We scrimmaged, Neiman and Sons. That was amazing.
Absolutely, good time.
Had an opportunity to find out like why you're so beloved. I mean, you're such a genuine dude.
I
feel like I
that.
split atoms, right? With me, you, and Rob.
Immediately.
This is about the kids.
Yeah,
and it was just great meeting your coaches. You know, they're amazing. Getting into the 7-on-7 landscape, right? What I want to talk about, Rob, in this section, right? How has Nebraska 7v7 football in the tournaments that we're doing, because we're a tournament series. Plus we help and we give advice. How's that affected you?
I mean, it's been great for us, at least. It's given us an opportunity to kind of like just compete and to see where we kind of are, to test the knowledge and the things that we've been teaching the boys. But then also gives us the opportunity to play local and not travel right away, right? We don't believe in traveling all these miles to just go get our butts whooped, but we want to compete. So you got to test it somewhere first to see where you are, where the talent base is, and just kind of figure it out from there. I'm fine with just playing them all in Omaha if I could. I think our parents would too. But it's been great. It's been so beneficial to our kids to be able to have this stuff that they see on social media, but to see it in their own backyard. I think that's a super cool thing too.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is we haven't seen the 7-on-7 landscape in Nebraska. And so we were new to it last year. And just to go from last year to this year to see the difference and how much it's growing.
It's exploding.
It's huge. And
I'm loving it.
And we're still behind.
Yes.
We're still behind.
We're still behind, right?
Nebraska. But it's awesome, right? Like, even from last year, this year, to see the different teams from out of state come in and even though local teams are like, well, wait a minute, they didn't have a team last year. But it's awesome, right? Because now you have more opportunities to play those games. And we don't have to travel to Kansas City or to Kansas or Oklahoma to play the games. You can play 10 tournaments here locally.
Right here. And it's super because you guys are touching on like a really cool point that Robert and I experienced, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, most of you know that I own the Red Wolves, right?
Yep.
Which is a huge organization.
We know. We know. Just so y'all know, we lost in the championship this past week to them. Just so y'all know. But it's all love.
It was a great game. Great game.
So we're doing some good things, but the problem was, like, as an owner, I'm looking at the parents, right? Rob,
Yeah.
we're talking about this, and they're exhausted because we were traveling so
6
much.
hours, 5 hours.
6 hours, 5
Yeah.
hours, Texas, Oklahoma, right? Back to back. The parents were expending money, right? And I thought about, like, how do I bring the community together but still stay connected to the other states?
Yeah.
And one day it popped in my head 3 years ago, you know what? What if we did a tournament team and somehow I designated myself as the final authority for tournaments in Nebraska, which I know people wanted to kill me, but I was thinking, I don't mean it like I want to take over. I just want to help other teams get going, and I want to create venues.
Yeah.
And so Robert and I got together and we started talking about this Border Wars series that has exploded, that some people are jumping on that bandwagon. Right. So Rob, let's talk about the Border series and where we have
so for the Border Wars, we have teams like the Alliance Hawks from Nebraska, but we also have teams, outside the states, and Nebraska's right in the middle of everybody. So it's less than 4 hours travel time from every major city to come here and participate and compete. You know what I'm saying? So the Border Wars has been a great series this year. It's going to get even bigger and better next year. You guys tell us how you felt about Border Wars and competing in that a couple weeks ago.
Man, it was fun. It was great, man. It was great to just see how much this thing has grown here in Nebraska. And like I said, man, we're always this thing with Alliance and everything that we've done, and God has given us the vision to go do. It's been big on discernment and big on quality over quantity. So it's like we look at you guys and get inspired because y'all are doing it. Like somebody got to jump out there and do it. And we're just sitting back and learning and saying, okay, like we can do the same thing and partner and make it even bigger and do different things, like have a venue in Omaha or whatever that it may be, but just partnering with great people that want to do it for the right reasons, right?
And that's
keeping
what
the main
is
thing.
about. Keeping the main thing,
the main thing, man.
I've stressed that this is about Nebraska. Right? This is about reaching all the way to our western borders, which now we're starting to see teams pop up. Aurora, they're coming with a decent team that's going to be amazing as time goes on, right? Grand Island kids that are playing, right? We're super excited about that explosion. Elkhorn Storm popping up, Bolt Boys, right? Steve's out there, Warren's got Warren. But the deal is, as I've stressed, we're not going to fight each other. Right?
No point.
We're going to simply come together and be a unit, but you know what? When it's time to slug it out on the field, let's do that with the inspiration of getting better.
Amen.
So Rob and I stay neutral because we're not in the political spectrum with this deal. We want to just keep improving the landscape, getting Nebraska teams to go out, bringing more talent to our team, bringing what they see on the outside happening here. Because if you can see it, right, you can believe it.
Amen.
So you being a coach,
and why not Nebraska, right? What is
That's my
Nebraska
favorite
known?
word.
Nebraska's known for football, right?
Why not?
So we don't have to go all these other places, and why can't we make this a destination? Like you see these big tournaments in Vegas and in Texas and Florida. Why can't we have 150 teams here in Omaha or in Lincoln? Like we go to Manhattan. Like it can be Nebraska, and I think the football organizations want it, right? And I think it's great that you guys are doing this because
thank you
and stepping up. Like we need someone to step up and do that. And we've talked about it for years. BK and myself with just tackle football,
right.
And the landscape of tackle. But now you see 7-on-7, and it's being done the right way. It's starting off the right way. It's not starting off with a different intention or a different intent for these kids or the organizations. It's starting off the right way about the teaching, the training, the competitiveness, the bringing this 7-on-7 in Nebraska, which is 10 years behind in 7-on-7. And it's awesome that we can do it in Nebraska. Let's have these California teams, these Texas teams come through because we have
Colorado teams.
And they brought a squad. They brought a squad, right?
Okay, but let's not forget it's not like teams from out of state are coming to Nebraska running through us.
No,
We're hosting the tournament, probably up toward 10 now. And a lot of Nebraska teams are absolutely spanking these teams that are coming from outside,
which is
not
awesome.
that they're not good.
Yeah,
and you're hearing that from the coaches. We heard it this weekend on the sideline. Like, man, your teams are really good. Like, and asking where we're from, where you know what we do, where are we affiliated with the high school? Like, what tackle program do you have? Like, they're asking questions about where these kids coming from, and like they're complimenting Nebraska teams.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah,
I think that speaks loads to the coaches that are here. You guys tell us a little bit about what you think that 7v7 or the development, what it does for your players. Where do you see that happening at?
Yeah, it just gives them a head start. When I was in high school, I grew up in I was born and raised in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I moved to Kansas City when I was about 15. So we did 7v7 in the summers it was our high school. So we went against different high schools and things like that, but it was only like a 3-week league, and that was really it. So our boys are now having an opportunity to not just play football during football season, but to also get the reps in the springtime, because just like we were talking about before we got on air, it's like, if we want to compete with the SEC states, Pac-12 states, all these different teams or these colleges, well, these boys can go year round. Okay. So like, we got to have something that we can compete against. Because if we think little Johnny gonna go to the league just playing football from July to October and that's it, then it's false. It's not going, like, we have to respect the game, and we have to put that into it. And obviously, being a Nebraska fan, if we want to make this place better, it starts with us. It starts with us. It starts with the youth and teaching these kids the right way. So when the Matt Rules or whoever is here to come and get these kids, it's like, where y'all come from? Y'all so ready to go. Y'all know how to run. Y'all can do this. Y'all can do that. So
they're in our backyard.
Yes.
It's crazy because sometimes when I talk to different folks at the University of Nebraska and have these opportunities to talk about what Nebraska 707 is doing, they're not aware, right? They're not aware, but now they're becoming more aware. I mean, there's some amazing coaches at the University of Nebraska that are supporting what we do, and we love them for it.
Definitely.
Absolutely, they back us up. They visit with us. They are beginning to help us improve, and that is really phenomenal for the landscape, because Nebraska 7-on-7 football is a tournament series, and we're sitting in the middle, and we're remaining neutral, which is important. So tell me, how many teams do you have?
Well, 7-on-7 teams. We got what? 4,
5,
110U, 112U, 2 14Us. Yeah,
and that's out of the box.
And that was first year.
Yeah.
Our tackle football this past year had 7 teams, and then we just used that funnel to say, hey, if you want to play, come play. If not, it's all good. If you got baseball, track, it's all good. If you want to do both, this is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna try to make it easy. But 4 teams out the jump of just like wanting to learn. And don't get me wrong, we had some parents get in it thinking that it was like flag. Right? And then you get some of these boys flying around. It's like, you know what? I don't know if I want this which is fair. Like, you got to get into it to see. But we started off the year with 4, man, and we just want to build it again. It's one of those things, like, so many people have asked me, like, why don't you combine one of your teams or your 14U teams? Why don't you make a good team? It's like, it's not about that. It's just about getting the reps and learning and just figuring it out. I'm like, look, if we getting, semis or making it to, that's fine for us right now, because we're a 14U team on the young side. We're just competing, man. These boys are just learning. And we got to stay true to telling them that, like, dude, stop whining and doing all the nonsense. Y'all are out here competing. Y'all learning at a high level. And y'all are ahead of the game. Just trust the process. Just trust that and just keep going.
And I think, like, with the 7-on-7, it gives us, like, giving the tournaments in Nebraska. So we're not just practicing, right? We're not just practicing. We actually have the tournaments. And now we can compete with those other sports in the summertime. So these boys are making it work. The parents are making it work because they want to play football. So now with the 7-on-7 series tournaments, like, we're not just practicing like, okay, we're going to practice for 8 weeks, 9 weeks and go to 2 tournaments. Now we have 5, 6 tournaments to go to. And now they're like, okay, well, we'll make it work. Like, I can split the time with baseball and the time with football or soccer, whatever it is, because that's always been the thing, is like, well, we can't do 7-on-7 because of this. No, these boys, that they want to play. They want to play. They want to play. They're gonna find time. Like,
they want to play.
We have kids in our team that they play 7-8 games a weekend between baseball and 7-on-7, and they love it.
They love
it. And you're not forcing them. You're not. They're just they want to make every practice. They want to make every game. And the 7-on-7 tournament gives us that, right? It gives them a route to, like, we're not just going to practice for 8 weeks and then that's it. Like, we're going to go play tournaments, and what we've been coaching and teaching, we're gonna put you to the test.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Make it translate.
And staying with your team, just giving a shout out.
Yeah.
Jesse
Salcedo.
Oh
Yeah,
my
man.
gosh.
Good dude. Shout out to Jesse, man.
Oh man, I watched him with that 10U.
Yeah.
I watched him study other teams.
Yeah.
I watched him look at his, and now they are just
man.
smoking.
Yeah, that's why he's so great, man,
getting
because he's a learner,
better.
man. He just
He's a
asks
learner.
questions. And we was talking about that before. I was like, we get so many, and we've seen it, so many young coaches that get in the game of, if it's tackle 707, they think like they got to be Bill Belichick or they got to look like Oregon and all. It's like, dude, teach them how to run a hitch route and just throw it on time. Like, let's just do that to start and work that and then build off of that. That foundation, but Jesse's great, man. He is so amazing. Man. We're so
really
thankful
happy.
for him, man. Seriously.
Yeah, when he comes around and he's super competitor.
Yeah.
But it's before and after. It's handshake.
Absolutely.
And those are the type of coaches that we love because, as you pointed out, there is some simplicity to it and basically teaching kids from 8, 9, 10 years old how to catch the route tree, right? How to run defenses and coverages.
Yeah.
But the beauty of it is when I see them the next 2 tournaments down, they are getting it in, leaving their feet. They understand coverages. They're talking. So there's some complexity here that eventually will help all of the high schools because now, like other states, SEC, right?
The process is real, man.
The process is real.
You can see the progression.
And you can't skip it, man, at all.
Can't.
We've talked to a million coaches, man, that tell me, I mean, even me now coaching at Miller North. I've talked to coaches that say, BK, we get kids that come to us freshman year that don't know how to run.
Football.
Don't know how to run. Don't know how to cover two.
Yeah.
Don't know how to do a high knee. Don't know how to do a long. And it's like, to me, that's bothersome because that means whoever had them prior, that wasn't the focus. The only other focus could have been is wins. And let's just see what that looks like. We're fine with losing however many we need to lose if these kids are learning football. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to make sure we're keeping that priority of just making sure that it's about development. It's about development. And that takes time. And parents got to understand that too, that's you got to put some skin in the game too, right? If that's extra training, if that's whatever that it is, you can't just think, okay, Lil Johnny just gonna show up and you're disrespecting the game. You have to work at it, and you have to be okay with working at it, and you have to be okay with letting your child go through hard stuff.
Go through hard stuff. And Austin has a comment that's coming through. Go ahead, Austin.
Yeah, on the text line, Bryce asks for both Lincoln and Alliance. Do you guys have any camps for younger youth that may not be old enough to play but still want to start learning those skills?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We got some stuff
in
Omaha
first.
Yeah, we got some stuff. I can't announce it yet, but I got something coming up this summer, so stay tuned to that. Me and Rob was actually just talking outside before air about maybe possibly bringing something together like a wide receiver, DB camp, just building that funnel, Omaha to Lincoln, and just bringing these kids together to just learn how to a jab release or double jab. It just learn how to get off the ball and learning a simple, specific technique. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely have some stuff in plan for sure, at least for Omaha.
Yeah. So for Lincoln, there's a lot of folks that are doing a lot of things. I'll start with Paramount. Paramount is out there Mondays and Thursdays. It's on a 3-week break. Starts in June. You can go online and find that easy enough through. I think is it on the Red Wolf link?
Yeah, I think we've got it on the Red Wolf links, and there's also a Instagram page. Instagram page is Paramount Football Training at Paramount Football Training. So they can go on there and see the flyers and get the QR code to sign up.
Okay, and then I'm going to also give a plug to I think Reggie Ellis and Ben, I think, are involved with Gridiron.
Yeah.
I've seen that popping up. That seems to be doing well. I'm not sure how to get in touch with them. Maybe if somebody is from Gridiron or Reggie's listening, text in to the station, and I'll give that plug out as well. The other one is I know that Tommy Armstrong is getting it in with QB.
Yeah, he is.
A4 football. He is just given his time, doing so many things in the community. I'm so impressed with him. I thank him for playing at the university, the things that he did.
Yeah.
So I know that he works with a lot of kids through the week, as well as playing with Omaha Beef. I know that Michael Hunter, right? Michael Hunter is doing some receiver training. You can check him out as well. What is his code on that? Do you remember his name?
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Yeah, we'll have to look him up. If anybody's from Mike's camp, text in on the Sauter Harmon line. It's 402-464-5685. If we don't get through the day, we'll get it through next time. So the point is that there's a lot of people doing a lot of things that are out there. And I'm going to tell you, like I said in the last show, I'm going to tell you the same thing that I tell all the time. It's a smorgasbord. Get out there, find off-season training so you don't get the football and your kid is behind and now you're upset because your kid doesn't have the training, because a lot of kids in Nebraska are now getting training through 7-on-7, and they're getting training from guys that are coming in, doing a good job. If you don't like the training, doesn't matter if it's Paramount or whatever. You don't like the training, find training that
there
works.
you go.
Right?
Amen.
That's the key, because we
Amen.
have to continue getting Nebraska. Everybody thinks it's a Lincoln problem or it's an Omaha problem. It is a Nebraska problem.
Man.
If we're going to make it to the SEC, right? If we're going to make it to the ACC, kids in those programs, if we're going to have more kids in the Big Ten, now that the Big Ten has expanded, how do you do it? You know, you got to do it one training at a time.
That's it,
right?
And put the skin in the game, man. I tell people all the time, the training business, the pouring into kids and that training side of it is like the funeral home business, man. Like kids are always being born. So you're always gonna have kids. So like when I see these people or hear about people arguing over kids or where they going, it's like the game is so big, and unfortunately it's gotten saturated, just like anything else. Parents have to go figure out, like you said, what works best for them. If it's not us, then you need people like Tank, right, and Rob doing it the right way. So you can always refer. It could be somebody else. So if it's them, cool. Well, at least you're still getting good people, good men that are pouring into your young man, and it's just not sports. Because it's so much bigger than that. We want you to understand that you got to work hard at it, but I also want to give you an understanding that it's purpose too in all of this. You're giving glory to God by training, by playing hard, by giving glory to Him through your gifts. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's so much bigger than that, but you just need good. We can't service everybody, right? So you need people in different areas to do it the right way. And unfortunately, it don't always happen like that. And it's all good, but I'm just not going to play that game. I'm okay
we're
on that.
neutral.
It's my name.
If we didn't answer your question, whether you're Omaha or whether you're Nebraska or surrounding communities, you want to reach out to www.nebraska7v7football.org. www.nebraska7v7football.org. Talk to my man, Coach Rob. He'll point you in the right direction so you can get the help that you need. We get it all the time anyway. We are a neutral source when it comes to that. And so we're going to hook you up with the Brandon Kinney's and everybody. Looks like we got to go. Austin, my man, thank you so much for spending Saturday with us.
Special thanks to Brandon Kinney and Brian Davis for being Alliance Hawks, man.
Yes,
Alliance Hawks.
Appreciate y'all, man. Thank you so much.
It's been an honor. Thanks for stopping in. Hope to do it again soon. Tank will be back next Saturday.
Well, you know what? Yeah, we'll be back next Saturday. We also have a tournament. The Mother's Day Showdown is on the 11th.
It's going down
all day.
Okay.
Get registered.
Set up that Red Bulls rematch. Get ready.
We gotta get there, man.
Perfect. It's been all things Lincoln Youth Football here on 93.7 The Ticket. One more show, Big Red Esports, coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Thank you.
It's the Elway Power Sports Customer Expo, May 10th and 11th. There will be giveaways and free food, half-price tires, and factory rebates as large as $2,500. Used inventory price to sell, parts and accessory specials too. Register for the John Elway football giveaway and get a chance in the money machine with a new vehicle purchase. Factory and aftermarket reps will be on site for the event. The Customer Expo at Elway Power Sports, May 10th and 11th, just south of I-80 on 27th Street.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Have a passion for the outdoors? Nebraska Game and Parks is seeking seasonal teammates. Work in scenic state parks, contribute to vital research projects, and care for our natural spaces. Seasonal staff assist with special events, provide